Welcome to Tanya Inside Out, chapter 27. So, just recently, this has become my favorite chapter, and we might be able to get through the whole thing today. In my opinion, this is the heart of the Tanya. The Tanya's 53 chapters, which means 26, 26, and then you're left with 27 in the middle. So this is really I know that people talk about Lamed Base being the heart of Tanya, but I think you'll agree with me after we look at look at this parak with a little with some depth, that you'll see how this really is the heart of the Tanya. This is the heart of the avoider of the Beinoini. Okay, this really is the this is yeah, this class is describing, according to how I understand it, um it's the ultimate description of the work of the Beinoini. Okay, I'll just put my phone on silent. Okay, Perek Kav Zayin. Just remember Kav Vav, we were speaking about Atzvus, about how to get over anxiety and depression. He spoke about two kinds. There's the kind of it's happening to you, means things aren't going correct, things aren't going particularly well. Deal with that because Gamza Tova. Yeah, and then you did it. Yeah, well, that sounds like something you should be a little bit sad about. And he says, yeah, maybe, but only in specific times when you choose to be sad about it. If it's a sadness that just comes over you, he calls it the tachboilus yetzer, that is trying to be lapil achakach b'taivas. If you're feeling down, yeah, we all know that when you're feeling down, you are, what's the word? Fair game, or you're a breeding ground for the Yetzer Hara. There's no one more susceptible to Avera than a person who is feeling down. Yeah, when you've got no energy, you can't fight, you do all the worst stuff when you're feeling down. So now he shifts gears. So that was, if you want to, like we've said a few times, if you want to kind of um beam the cut to it, okay, it's happening to you. That's number one. You did it. That's number two. Now this one is you are it. Now let's see what he says. This is another reason that you might get upset, is because you're just you know, you're not really there yet. You've got a long way to go and you're pretty unholy. So the Alter Rebbe comes to he's going to be stark with us here. Okay, but this really is this is the Ica fight of the Beinoini. This is our avoider. Okay, we are Beinoinim. Okay, we are Beinoinim. This is our avoider. Okay, the im ha'atzvus eina medaigas avoinus. Yeah, it's not because of something you've done. Ela mehihurim roim v'taivas ro shenoiflis b'machshvasri. It's because you're having bad thoughts. So you think like, I mean, I don't know why, yeah, but I know during Kriya Shema, actually not actually during Kriya Shema, Birchas Kriya Shema in the morning, yeah, I have just crazy bad thoughts come into my head. Like the rest of the day, I don't have these thoughts like ever. And then it's like hardly without fail, I get images pop into my head that are things that I saw when I was, 15 years old. I'm 46. 30 years ago, they pop into my head at Birchas Kriya Shema, the first brachas, especially Avos Oilam, before davening. And yeah, that's an amazing thing. It's much crazy. So you can get down from that. Like you have to be a really big boy to not let that kind of drag you down. So that's what it's
Maybe those are Ahava Nephilus that needs a tikkun
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. But this,
coming in Ahava Solam. Dafka.
yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. But the this is now this is the Beinoini, okay? Meaning, well, if you want to divide everyone in reality into two people, what are you going to divide them into? Every year, if you've only got two categories, what are the two categories going to be? Oh, Shalom, Rabbi Aaron.
Shalom Rav, how are you? Long
I'm
time no
fine.
see.
Wow, I can't see your face, but just your name already
Oh,
as my
1 second.
12.
Where am I?
It warms my cockles, whatever that means.
Baruch Hashem, I'm happy to be able to be live today.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so you just
Nice.
in. We're just
There we go.
Shalom.
Good to see you.
Great to see you. You look great. Baruch Hashem.
Thank you.
Um, so if we're going to divide all Yidden into two groups, yeah, if we're only allowed two groups, we have Rashoyim and Tzaddikim. Every Yid falls into that category. Is either a Rasha or a Tzaddik. Yeah, well, where's the Benoni? If the Benoni has to fall into a group, is he a Rasha or a Tzaddik? So the answer is he's a Rasha who acts like a Tzaddik. Meaning he has bad thoughts and tivers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's really a Russia who he is internally. He's got a lot of ra there, but he always does the right thing. So he's called a Benoni. So the Benoni really is a Russia who's acting like a tzaddik, and that means he has this inner fight. This is the fight of the Benoni. This is our fight. Yeah, our fight is in the world of machshava, our ikka fight. Yeah, I know we do things wrong, yeah, but we don't want to do things wrong. Yeah, and if someone's to come up to you and say, by the way, I've got this really juicy piece of Lashon Hara, yeah, listen to this. You'd be like, leave me alone. Your Lashon Hara, leave me alone. Yeah, you don't want to do Averas. Yeah, every now and again we get hopped by whatever it is, yeah. But really our real struggle is in the world of thought. Yeah. And this is what he's saying now. So when you're getting bombarded with bad thoughts, you might fall into depression. V'ne'im noiflas loy shaloi b'sha'as avoda. Now, what about if these thoughts fall into your mind not at the time of avoda, yeah, like Torah and Tefillah, ella ba'ez asko ba'asakov v'derech eret to kai governor, when you're involved in your worldly affairs, yeah, adraba yejo lismoich b'chelkoi. Don't be down. You need to be besimcha. Yes, she'af shnoiflis lo machshvasoihu. הוא מסיח דעתו מהם לקיים מה שנאמר ולא יססוח לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זוהים מאחוריהם. That you've now got the opportunity to be masiach das, and then you're makayim the mitzvah of lo yissasu achorei levavchem v'achorei neichem asher etem zolim achreihem. Yeah, you get to be makayim the mitzvah of don't run after your eyes and your ears, your eyes and your heart to think about filthy stuff. That's amazing. So he's telling you it's not an Avera to have bad thoughts. It's not an Avera. The Avera is to entertain bad thoughts. And on the other side of the equation, the mitzvah is to be Masiach Das. And the Masiach Das, again, as we've said many, many times, is remembering that you're not the thought. The thought is occurring to you, but you are not the thought. That's literally one of the most important things I've ever learned. The thought occurs to you, but you are not the thought. That's called Masiach Das. And if you can do that, yeah, then you've basically won. You've basically won. If you realize that you're not the thought, then you can let go of the thought. That's Masiach Das. This pasuk is not talking about tzaddikim who have to push away. Yeah, likois zoinim chas v'shalom. The tzaddikim aren't they don't prostitute themselves after bad thoughts. That's actually, I'm just seeing that's a chiddush right now. What atem zoinim achreihem, that you prostitute. A zoine is a prostitute, yeah. So it says that you prostitute yourself after them. What is a prostitute? It's a prostitute. See, why is a prostitute? Sorry to speak about these things. Gabriel, answer this question, man. Why is a prostitute called a kadesha? Don't give me the pashup shot because she's separate from. What's the kesher between kedusha and a prostitute? What does it mean, kadosh? Yeah, kadosh means separate, but what
Intim intimately connected.
not really, no. In Tanya, kedusha, kadosh means transparent. Yeah, it means nullified, means bottle. She is bottle to his oineg. That's what a zoina is. She's completely transparent. She's absolutely nothing to his oineg. There couldn't be more of a means to an end than a zona. So the idea of I'm just thinking about it right now. It's a nice way of saying it. Don't be zoinim achreihem. Don't prostitute yourself. Don't become bottled to those bad thoughts. Don't get deluded into thinking that you are them. They are occurring to you. They're not you. You see that you can say that from the possum. Anyway. That's right. Ella, but beinonim
So you're saying she's the ultimate means to an end.
yeah, exactly. So she's kadosh mitzad tuma. She becomes cut like a kadosh. A tzaddik lahavdil is someone who's bottled to Ratzon Hashem. So she, in a sense, laheifech lahavdil. Elef
Yeah,
alpha.
but kedusha is things that are not a means to an end.
No, yeah, they are. They are a means to the end, meaning that they see themselves in context of Hashem. By Hashem, they become an end unto themselves. But to themselves, a tzaddik is absolutely a means to an end. To the Russia, he is an end unto himself. His pleasure is an end unto himself. That's the point. That's just the chiddush. You can like it or leave it. But by the but beinonim kiyoyzi bojanoblim lo hihure niyuf b'machshavasoi bein beheta v'chulei. Yeah, Dafka talking about dirty thoughts. Yeah, if you're a good functioning human being, a man. Yeah, then you should be having near-sticker thoughts. They should occur to you. You should be pushing them away and disidentifying with them and not entertaining them in any way, not inviting them in. But if you're a healthy man, they should be occurring to you. And I suppose it also depends on things that you've experienced in your life. But I remember hearing Rav Manis Friedman was talking about he was talking to some kids who were going on a camping trip, like a co-ed, like good from kids who were like, modern, and they were friends, boys and girls were friends. And one of the boys asked Rab Manis some question, and he said last year the tent like blew away, and he had to sleep in a sleeping bag with a girl. And he said to Rab Manis, "Don't worry, nothing happened." That's what he said. And I don't know if Rab Manis said anything then, but he said on the video, he said that is a sick boy. That's a sick boy. There's something wrong with that boy. Yeah, that should a man. You have to be choshid yourself. If you are a healthy, functioning man, then you have to know that part of you is very active. It really is. But remember, this is the point. It's just a part of you. It's not you. Yeah, yeah. When you're mesiach your das from this bad thought, you're makayim the love that Chazal said, Yoshev lo over aveira noisin lo schar keilu osa mitzvah. If you sit there and you don't do an aveira, but you have the titles of an aveira, and you don't do it, you get a schar like having done the mitzvah. V'okein tzrich v'smoyach b'kiyam alav k'moi b'kiyam mitzvahs asay mamash. You should be mamash b'simcha. So you're getting these bad thoughts, and you think of yourself as a dirty old man or whatever it is, and therefore you're feeling a bit down. And the Rebbe is saying, no, you're a normal functioning man, yeah, and normal functioning men have these kinds of thoughts. Now get rid of it, push it away, distract yourself, be Masiach Das, and then you should be Besimcha like you were being Mekayim Mitzvah, just like the mitzvah of Hanachas Tefillin or Levishas Talus or Hadlakas Ner Chanukah, yeah, where there's a great simcha. So too, when you're able to push away these thoughts, there should be a great simcha. So why are you getting down on yourself? And comes the Rebbe now with a with an atomic Tanya punch, and he says, "V'adarabba, ha'atzazim megasas ruach." The reason why you're down is because you're a big Baal Gaiva. She'ena makim makoimoy, because you don't recognize your place. Va'ol ken yora vavoy, ol she'ena b'mdregas tzadik. Tzadikim v'vada ein noiflim lehem hirei shtus ke'elu. And the reason why this person is feeling down is because he thinks he's a tzaddik. And a vadai tzaddikim don't have these thoughts. So this person's realizing he's not a tzaddik, and now he feels down. So the Rebbe says, stop being such a Balgaiva. If this person recognized who he really was, he's very far from tzaddik. Halavai be a Beinoni, not a Rasha Kol Yomov. Afilu sha'achas, even one moment. Harizoizi midas a Beinoinim, and this is the heart of Tanya. You guys happy now why I'm saying this is the heart of Tanya? This is Midas Beinonim. Yeah, Midas Beinonim. Pushing away bad thoughts. That is, you can take me to the bank on that. That is, I've spent many years learning Tanya, and I really feel from everything that I've got, from the clarity that I have in the Sefer, for whatever that's worth, yeah, is that the avoider of the regular Jew is be'ikah in the Olam HaMachshava. Yeah. Not to mean that we don't slip in speech and in action, yes, but our Ikka avoid, the Ikka struggle of the regular Jew, that's you and me, is in the world of Machshava, with dirty thoughts. Hihure nirf.
I thought that the Ikar avoda of a Jew in the world of Machshava is not in Sur Meirah, of pushing away thoughts of niyuf, but it's of serving Hashem l'shma. It's in Kavanah.
Serving Hashem l'shma, I don't really think is a din on machshava. You can't work on serving Hashem l'shma. All you can work on is being a real mensch and treating other people with tremendous kavod and making people really real. And then you've got a chance of being over lishma. I don't know of any pa'ulas you can do to become more lishma other than in the realm of Bein Adam L'Chaveiro. I personally don't know of anything you can do that's going to help you become more lishma other in the realm of Bein Adam L'Chaveiro.
Just before doing a mitzvah, thinking, Hashem, I'm doing this for you to give you an achas ruach.
That's not lishma.
Why?
That's not it's not a thinking thing. It's not a thinking, it's not giving Hashem a nachas ruach, wanting to do it to give Hashem a nachas ruach is not the lishma that we're that don't get me wrong, that's lovely, yeah, but we're really striving for the ultimate lishma, where it's even beyond that, where it's just Hashem. There's just Hashem. That only the only way that I know, the only avodah that I know of that, the only avodah available to us that I know of is Bein Adam L'Chaveiro. I don't know of any avodas that you can do that help you get lishma other than Bein Adam L'Chaveiro. Taking other people really seriously. And be'ikah, that means your wife. Yeah. Relating to your wife as an actual human being, as opposed to just a prut in your life. Yeah, that is the first avoider. And in my opinion, the most important avoider of avodas Hashem. And like we said many times, v'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha ani Hashem is the same gematria as v'ahavta Hashem lokecha. But what's the difference between those two statements? She's human. I'm still working on that. I'll let you know. I've only been married 20 years. I'm assuming after like 40, 45, I'll start to maybe cut this. But the difference is, v'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha ani Hashem, and v'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha, yeah, love your neighbor as yourself. I am Hashem is same gematria. I think it's 907 as love the Lord your God. But love your neighbor as yourself. I am Hashem has in it. I am Hashem. That is really that's it. I'd like you to prove me otherwise, but I don't know if what other avoda can it be? What Gabriel, what can you do that's going to make him more real? Because you're always serving. You can't. I mean, what is God? What is he? What is that? Like what are you relating to? He's no thing. He's not like a spirit in the sky. He's not. What is he? Well, where are you gonna meet that? It's just the idea of
doing what his will, the same way you love your wife, doing her will, making her will more real to yourself than your own.
So, but how do you do that with him when there's
by doing mitzvahs as if they're more important than what you want to do?
You're right, but
it's no different. Again, it's not.
Well, it is.
The Baal Tanya is saying that Avos Israel is the litmus test for your Avos Hashem. It's not the only way to come there.
I think it is. I'll explain to you why. Because, like, what was the inyan with the Tzedukim? What was the inyan with the Tzedukim? What was the whole inyan? Yeah, you realize that the Tzedukim on Shabbos, they had a dark, cold house. They weren't allowed to use light. They weren't allowed to use fire. Yeah, they weren't allowed to cook they weren't allowed to have hot food. The reason why we have dafka a mitzvah of eating hot food on Shabbos is because of the Tzedukim. They would eat cold food on Shabbos. So Chazal and Masakin that we want to be not like the Tzedukim. So you're going to have to now get involved in all of these crazy, complicated halachas of Hatmana and of Bishul and of all the inyanim of Kli Sheni and Kli Shlishi and all this stuff.
Near Shabbos.
Loads of stuff. Yeah. What was it with the Tzedukim? They put themselves through tsaras. Go to your local Reform temple, yeah, and you find out how much they're doing that makes their life harder than the regular Haredi Yid in their Yiddishkeit. There's nothing that they do that makes their life harder.
Sitting through a Reform minyan is pretty difficult.
What?
Sitting through a Reform high holiday service is pretty hard.
Well, they got the guitars and everything, you know, they got snacks available and Yom Kippur and stuff. I don't know. But the point is, this is the whole point. This is why it's such a dangerous avodah. This is why avodah Hashem is so dangerous, is that it was like the Tzedukim, so to speak, were paskening from the Gemara and not from the Mishnah Berurah. Or you could say they were paskening from the Mishnah Berurah and not from actually having a Rav, a bus of a dumb Rav. Their whole inyan was there's no Torah Shabbat Peh, which means there's no Rabbonus, which means there is no Chazal, which means I'm going by Torah Shebechsav. I will be machniya myself to Torah Shebechsav, yeah, but I will not be machniya myself to Chazal. That is not.
It's like a Chassidus without a Rebbe.
It's the inyan of being machniya yourself to your understanding of a book. Now that is only holy when you are able to be machniya yourself to a human being, because you can't be machniya yourself to a book because it's your understanding. It's only when there's an actual human, and that's what I'm talking about with your wife, with your family, with other people, is that avoider of constantly thinking of them, constantly putting them before you. Yeah, that is avoidus Hashem, mamash. And all the big avoiders, you want to say to them 3 times and do tinus for 3 days, yeah? And mamash, scream out to God until blood is coming out your ears, yeah? Yeah, Gesundheit, do that, yeah? Love Duff, but it's holy Bichlal. Bichlal. What's the Inyan? As we said many, many, many times. Yeah, October 7th, Lahavdil. Yeah, you had a bunch of mamash Michigana Ballet Gaiva, yeah, who have no musag of anything outside of themselves, Bichlal, coming in Moisa Nefesh for their God. Yeah. So this is the avoider of Shalom bias. This is the avoider of Ve'havta L'Recha Kamoicha. This is why Ve'havta L'Recha Kamoicha is called in Kabbalah. It's called a kli. It's called a keli for avoidus Hashem for bein adam lamakom. Bein adam chaveroi is a kli for bein adam lamakom. And if there is no bein adam chaveroi, or if the bein adam chaveroi is lacking, then kal v'chomer there is no bein adam lamakom. It's dimyonis. It's mamash dimyonis and gaiva. Mamash dimyonis and gaiva. So the Rebbe here, I can't remember how we got onto that. Is we're saying that the avoider of the Beinoni, the Ikka avoider of the Beinoni, and we said earlier is actually Bein Adam Chaveroi. But when it comes to the inner world, yeah, the inner world that you in your own personal life, yeah, as opposed to relating to other people, is getting rid of these bad thoughts. Legamrei. But avoid dasam. And this is the avoid of the Beinoni. Lichvoish hayetza v'hahiha ha'oilem alev lemoyach, to be koivesh, to how to say koivesh, like to dominate, to defeat the yetzer and the thinking that goes up from the lave to the moyach. The opposite of moyach shel al lave. That the moyach goes up from the lave to the moyach. It's like kind of spat up, vomited up from the heart into the mind. And to divert your attention from it, to disidentify from it, to push it away with shtei yadayim. No, I'm not letting you enter my inner space. You got spat up from my heart. Very nice. Keep going. Keep going. And with every pushing away, that you'll push it away from your machshava, is kafir sitra achol asata. You are subjugating the Sitra Achra down here, and that causes a Shem up there to subjugate the Sitra Achra. And he brings down the Sitra Achra de La'ela, meaning the Sitra Achra from above. Yeah. And this is the idea of, people look and say, a kol b'dei shemayim, what can you do? Yeah, Hashem's looking at you saying, kol b'dei ha'aretz, hani achol la'asot. What can I do? I gave you got the whole powers in your hands, guys. Yeah, you fix it down there and I'll fix it up here. But that's the way it works. It goes from down up. Isusa de la Sata causes Isusa de la Eila. And what is it that he brings down? The inyan of Gaiva Bichlal, the inyan of separation from God that brings itself up like a nesha, like an eagle, L'kaim Masha Kasuv, and Hashem is Makayim the pasuk. Im tagbia kanesha chulei misham oridcha noam Hashem. If you rise up like an eagle, I will bring you down, says the Boy Shalom. Ukumori shehafrig b'zoya pashas truma, and just like that they announce in the Zohar in Parshas Truma, begoidu nachas ruach lefonav yizbrach. There's a tremendous nachas ruach to Hashem. Kad iskafia sitra achra l'sata. When we down here are koivesh the sitra achra, distalek yakud the kucha b'richu la'ela, loy kulu yosem shiv chayachra ve'istalkusu da yosem akula. It's the ultimate. Hashem loves it. He mamash loves it. Basically, when you are able to push away that thought with two hands, that dirty thought with two hands, the Rebbeinu Shalom is mamash freaking out in a good way. Very, very good way. That's the words of the Zohar. He says he's mamish loving it. It's more than any other praise. More than any other praise. L'chein al yipol leva odom alov. And therefore, Yid, don't get down. Yeah, v'lo yo levavoy ma'oid. And don't get very, I mean, you can be a little bit down, but don't get very down, yeah? Gam im yiyeh kain kol yomav. Even if this is the situation your entire life. B'milchama zu, with this milchama, ki ulai lekach nivra. Maybe it was for this you got created, to fight these thoughts. You might not want to have these thoughts. You might not want to be sitting there on Yom Kippur having these funny, disgusting thoughts of things you saw when you were 18 pop into your head, yeah? But maybe this was why you got created. V'zois avoidasa, this kafir sishrach v'tamid. Maybe that's your avoider here. Who knows? And this is what Eov said. This is one of the questions we asked right at the beginning. Brasa Rishoyim. Eve says, Hashem, in Bava Basra, you created Rishoyim, but Hashem didn't make Rishoyim. He made mentions. We just choose to be a Rosh or to be a Tzaddik. Yeah, he says, Lo you Rishoyim be'emes chas v'shalom, not like mamash Rishoyim. Yeah, chas v'shalom. Ela she'yagia leihem kamaisa Rishoyim. It comes to them things that might happen to the Rishoyim b'machshavasam hehuram levad in their minds. Thinking bad stuff. That they are constantly involved in being masich das from these bad thoughts, so that they can subjugate the sitra achra, and maybe they won't ever completely dominate it, because the nasa alidei tzaddikim. This is done through the tzaddikim. The tzaddikim vanquish this part of themselves, so to speak. And there's two kinds of nachas ruach that Hashem gets. Echad mebitl sitra achol legamrei v'schafcha memorilam masichem v'chashucha l'nohiri alidei tzadikim. The first one is when you're mevatel the sitra achol legamrei, and you actually transform the bitterness into sweet and the darkness into light. That is by way of the tzadikim. The second one is what we're involved in, which is where you fight against the Yetzer Hara while he's in his prime, in his vigor. Yeah, when he raises himself like an eagle, and you bring him down, Hashem brings him down. But and that's called the Asusa de la Sata, where you don't transform your Yetzer, you harness him. You subjugate, not subjugate. What's the word? You dominate him. There's a better word, not subjugate. Whatever, that you dominate him. And that is the avoider of us. That is our avoider. That's the avoider of the Beinonim. This is what Yitzhak said to Yaakov and Esav. Make for me ta'amim. Yeah, ta'amim loshem rabim. That means two delicacies. Shnei minei nachas ruach. Two kinds of nachas ruach. This is what the Shechina said to her children. Kalas Yisrael. Kedeperish b'tikunim. K'moshe mata'amim gashmim derech moshe yesh shnei minei ma'adanim echad ma'acholim haravim masukim. The one is of sweet things, which kids naturally like. Everyone naturally loves sweet. Yeah, that's the avoid of the tzaddikim. It's obviously delicious and sweet. V'hasheni medevam charifim v'chamutzim. Yeah, which is like acquired taste, which is not obviously delicious. There are these things are treated like they're sharp and sour, but you treat them nice. You not treat them like you whatever, you spice them, you deal with them, and they become delicious. I'm going to try and finish the post. I'm going to read quite quickly. Everything that he does is for his sake. For Gam Rosh L'Yom Ra. Even the Rasha L'Yom Ra. The Rasha has Ra so that he can mamish fight it. And that is That's his point. That's what he's there for, is to fight the Ra, perish. Sheyishuv mirisha, he should return from his rishus. V'yaseh hara shelo yoim ve'or lamala, and he should make that Ra, like light it up, make it lichted. Kad is kafir sitrachah is dalet yokud the kucha bruchu le'ela. By just denying yourself that thought. Don't let yourself have that thought. Yeah, v'loy oid ela afilu b'dvarim hamutayim. Now he goes a little bit. Hold on to your seats here, guys. He says, now, how do you want to do that? How are you going to get rid of these bad thoughts when they come to you? Yeah. Even things that are completely permissible. Everything that a man sacrifices of himself, and he's doing it not to be a big, to be a big tzaddik, but just to tame the sitra achra. יש בכלל לשמאלי, כגון שחופש לאכול ומאכל סודסוי עד לאחר שעה או פחוס, ואויסה בתורה באויסה שעה, like he wants to eat, but he delays his eating and he sits down and learns something. Kadiz b'Gemara, as it says in Gemara, Shah revis Michael Kol Adam, Shah Shishis Michael Talmudei Chachamim. That the regular mention 4 hours and Talmudei Chacham eat 6 hours. He says like this: V'hayu marivim atzmam shtei shaus lekavana zu. The Talmudei Chachamim starved themselves. Yeah, it's a bit of a strong word for this. They delayed their meal for 2 hours with this kavana, just the kavana of taming themselves, of taming themselves. Zu af shagam achar suda didn't call it yom. It wasn't that they were learning extra; they learned the whole day anyway. So that was just the point is just delay it. Just train yourself. Just in things that are pasha mutter, like just don't say that little joke you're going to make. Don't say it. That is so hard. It's unbelievably difficult. And you have a quick, funny little joke to say that you think, oh, it's going to make people happy. It usually doesn't make people happy. It usually makes people think, I wish I had said that. Yeah, it doesn't, that little quick thing that you're about to say doesn't add anything generally. Yeah, so hold it back. See if you can do that. That is really hard, really, especially if it's really funny, if it's really quick or clever. Really hard to hold that back, yeah. Just like I said, yeah. Hold back your mouth. Bite your lip from the things that you really want to say. That if you can hold yourself back from thinking things stum, yeah, then you are Makadosh Rabbeinu Shalom. From this Kedusha, Nimshechas Kedusha Elyoina ala Adam. He's about to give us, I only realized this very recently, he's about to give us the keys to becoming a tzaddik here. Because in other places in the Tanya, it sounds like whether you're going to be a tzaddik or not is not up to you. It's a gift from Hashem. In this chapter, he doesn't say like that. Listen, he says like this. Yeah, Nimshach's Kedusha Elyoina ala Adam. They put on a Kedusha Elyoina onto the mensch when you start biting your lip and holding yourself back in what's mutter to you, Lamala, L'say Sir Rav, and they help him greatly, V'otzum, V'avoidasa Yizbrach, in his avodas Hashem. V'zeh Shama Vazal, Adam Makadosh Atzmo Ma'at Lamata, when a mensch is Makadosh himself a little bit down here, Makadshin Oisei Habe Milamala, they help him out big time from above. Levad Mash Makayim Mitzvahs Asay Shel Torah, and aside from the fact that you're being Makayim, the mitzvah is Kadashtem, yeah, the mitzvah of being Makadosh yourself. Because Makadosh Atzmai B'mutaloi, listen to this, that when he's Makadosh himself with what's mutter to him, perish v'kidashtem, shetasu atzmechem kadoshim, that you make yourself kadosh, meaning things that are permissible to you, you miskaber over. Koloi me'afshe be'emes eina kadosh muvdal masitra achra, even though you're not really separated from the sitra achra, yeah. Ki betakva ugvurasa called hodasa b'chad smoli. That you're just being Makadosh yourself, you're holding yourself back, but really the Ra is in its primal state as it has been in your heart since you were a kid. Vayisem kadoshim, listen to this, and you will be Kadosh Kolomer, Soifo liyois Kadosh, umuvdal be'emes me'esitra achra. If you are Makadosh yourself with what's mutter to you, you will eventually, he says, you will eventually become kadosh be'emes. They will help you from above become Givaldic, mamash become a tzaddik.
Wow, that's
The
amazing.
so the Rebbe spells out. You realize now why I say that's the heart of Tanya. It really is.
Wow.
It's the heart of Tanya. That's the whole Tanya mamash. Is that don't stop having these filthy thoughts. Just get rid of them when they pop up. Yeah, just get rid of them because that's who you are. Now you want to go a step further. Now bite your lip. Stop saying things that are completely mutter to say. Hold back your tongue. Yeah, and don't eat like just whatever. Just be makadish yourself. Just hold yourself back. Be shole over yourself. Yeah, and the Rebbe basically promises in the end you will become a tzaddik. You will be a tzaddik and you won't have those bad thoughts anymore. So before we have at this place where these thoughts aren't bombarding us, yeah, I give us all a bracha, especially during Avos Olam before Kriya Shema in the morning, that these thoughts should be quick and get gotten rid of easily and painlessly, and not distract us too much. And we should be zeicha to be over the Shem be'emes b'zrat Hashem. Okay.
Man, Shmuel, this whole word is this week's parsha. This week's parsha
Yeah.
is Rashi says Lo Dibra Torah El Keneged Yitzhahara. And we're talking about a Milchemes Reshus Akasim Medaber. Milchemes Reshus, and what do you have to do? You have to shave her head and wait a month. Don't do it right away. Push it off a month, and then you'll see. And you should know there are two parshas that have the most mitzvahs.
Yeah.
This week's parsha and Parshas Kedoshim.
Wow.
And they're both basically telling you the path to fighting. One is to become a kedusha, and this week's parsha is a keneged reshus, is through riboy mitzvahs, right? Riboy, taking the gashmias and all the different tzarufim of that.
Yeah. Hello. Okay, shkoyach. Nice way to end the shir. Chazak v'matz, chavre.
But let me ask you a question.